Thank you for listening to Borrego Valley Community Radio. Radio by the community, for the community.
All right. So, hello, this is DJ MJ, and today I'm visiting with Christina at Desert Lovers Company here in Borrego Springs. So, Christina, first thing first, good day to you. And Pepe. Pepe's here with us, which is fabulous because I just love Pepe so very much. But my big question to start off with is, how long have you been doing this business?
Yeah, I started with a website, and at that time I was friends and working with two other creators. It was Terry Canzoni and Dana Fehrenbach. And I was creating this website for myself and was thinking, wow, this is a lot of work. And if I'm going to be doing all this work, might as well spread the wealth, and put in pages for other artists in town so that when customers come to the website, then they can see what they're doing.
They can see more than just your stuff.
Yeah.
What's the things that you make? Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I started off in the very beginning wanting to do and doing graphics on shirts and tank tops. And so that's where it started. So I've been doing graphic design ever since high school, just for fun. It wasn't ever something I wanted to do professionally. And so when I moved to town, I saw that there were plants and flowers and designs that kind of popped into my mind that I wanted to share with the world. And I figured the best way to do that was through shirts. And so when I first started, I had my own heat press and got the designs printed and pressed them all myself in my dad's house. And I sold them at Metaskin. So Nicole was the owner at the time, and she was the first shop that said that I could sell my shirts in her store. And I was over the moon. I was like, thank you. And the customer response was great. People really loved them. And so I kind of went from there, started doing markets as well.
And that's where we met.
Yep. And then right around that same time, Nicole had a situation where she wanted to get candles for the shop, but they were super expensive to outsource. And I just loved doing anything that I could to help out, whether it was doing photos or design. And so I've always wanted to learn how to make candles. And so I was like, okay, I can probably make them for you. Candles are easy. Why not? And then I did some testing, did a few batches for her, and they didn't turn out as well as I thought they would.
Really?
Yeah. They all tunneled because when I was testing them, I only waited a few days to burn them, and I used soy wax. And soy wax, you need at least 2 weeks to cure because it's constantly hardening, and the longer that the life of the candle is. And so you need that 2 weeks for the candle's wax to get strong enough to give you accurate representation.
And if you hear all the noise that's happening, that's just Pepe being Pepe. Okay, that's what makes these type of interviews fun, is because they're real people with a real dog that is just doing dog things.
Yeah.
And he's super well behaved, you guys. So once again, right now I'm talking to Christina, the owner of Desert Lovers here in Borrego Springs, and that you're listening to The Ram, and this is DJ MJ. And she was telling us a little bit about her backstory and her history and the candle making. So continue with the candle making. So I'm assuming that they didn't continue
Yes.
Because I've seen your candles, and the candles are really pretty. So
the candles are great. And they basically, I started 4 years ago thinking that it was going to be easy. You just mix some wax and some fragrances, put a wick on it, and you're good to go.
that's what I think too. Right?
Yeah.
Incorrectly, I'm guessing.
Yeah. And then I found out that is not the case at all. And there's so many nuances. There's so many, you have to take a lot of different things into consideration, including room temperature, humidity levels, and it all affects the final product of the candle. So me being, I just fell in love with it. And there were many times when I could have given up because I couldn't do it the way that I wanted to, or with the outcome that I was hoping for. But I just took each one of those situations into a learning experience and figured out how to do it better next time. So every single time I do a batch of candles, I'm learning and I'm growing. And that's been happening over and over again for the last 4 years. So
you're self-taught.
Yes.
You did it all on your own, which is perfect because today is March 8th and it's International Day of Women, Women's Day. So International Women's Day in National Women's History Month at the same time. So it's just great to hear about a woman that not only made her own candles, but she was looking out for others and continuing to improve herself each and every time that she did something. So that should be an inspiration for not just women, but for anyone out there that's thinking of doing their own small business. I have my own small business, so I get it. It's not easy. There's those days that it's a struggle and you're just ready. Okay, well, I'm going to throw in the towel because this has just been one of those days. But then you wake up the next morning, you're like, how can I fix what happened yesterday and make it better today? I'm just guessing that's what I do for me.
Yeah, I think that's a huge part of it is being so interested and passionate about something that all of those days when your fears come up, when your self-doubts come up, when mistakes come up, but you learn from them and what you're doing is worth overcoming those fears and those mistakes and learning from them and being stronger. And so then the next time, or maybe there's not a next time that happens, but if it does, then you've traveled that path and you know how to overcome it next time.
Exactly, because each time I remember something that premarital coaches would tell me and Mike when we were having our premarital classes. And he said, today is preparing you for tomorrow. So everything you learn today is going to make you that much stronger for the next day around. And in my head, I was just like, oh, really? But he was right. It really does. Because now you have those memories. Now you have those experiences. And it helps you figure out a better way or say, okay, well, let me talk to somebody else. Maybe they have a better way to figure something out. And considering all of that, was this something that you always wanted to do, was to have your own shop? Because we've talked, you had the website, you were doing pop-ups, we saw each other there, that's how we met. And now you have your own shop, which is adorable, people. I will share pictures because you got to see how. If you haven't been in Desert Lovers, it's called Desert. I'm saying it right.
Desert Lovers and Company.
Desert Lovers and Company. Let me get that correct. It is adorable. It has all sorts of yummy, beautiful, colorful things. And if anyone knows me, I love color. And there's tons of color. 9 times out of 10, Pepe's going to be there, right?
Yes.
He's the friendliest little dog you will ever meet in the whole entire world. He's super, super sweet and super friendly, and he loves to get kisses. So you have all these different colors, all these different people, different types of art in there. The walls are just covered with beauty, and it's from people that are putting their heart and soul into a woman that's also put her heart and soul into a shop. So did you always want to have your own mortar and brick type building?
I hadn't previously. I always wanted to have my own business, but when I was younger, I kind of imagined just being able to move about whenever I wanted, wherever I wanted. And I wasn't too comfortable with the idea of being tied. I kind of considered it being tied down to something. However, it's been I've realized that those were also fears as well. I have something I've battled my entire life is a fear of success. And so when I was younger, like in my 20s and early 30s, I was always coming up with new business ideas. Ask any of my friends.
Me too.
And I'm always talking about, like, in San Diego, my friend and I wanted to open up a pho restaurant in a part of town that had no pho, and we loved it. It was like our favorite food. And then I saw a lot of people carrying around rain umbrellas in San Diego when the sun was shining and it was hot out. And I was like, what about coming up with a cute parasol that protects you from the sun, has that UV protection? And so I spent a lot of time looking at that. So this was just a couple examples of different ideas that I had. But as soon as I did the business plan for them, I was like, this doesn't make sense. And I'd give up and I'd talk myself out of it. Which in retrospect, I'm glad that happened, because all of those steps kind of brought me to this place of realizing that I wanted to finally follow through with this dream that I had of being able to have a place in Borrego Springs that could represent the community and the art that the community makes, and the makers here, and to be able to have us all under one roof, and also to be able to just have that safe space, and which I think is like so important for everyone right now more than ever, to have a place that you can go to and you can just see, like you're saying, there's lots of colors there. There's lots of different textures. I love having a variety of materials. And so it's such a great representation of the diversity of creations that everyone's working on here. And I feel like it's a space that the artists kind of get inspired by each other, because we can all see what everyone's doing. And sometimes you can see it like a particular item there that reaches out to you or speaks to you, and then you want to do that in whatever medium you're working with.
And what's fabulous, I 100% agree. What's fabulous is that there's so much to see. And if you stay there long enough, you will have a whole set of things that you would be surprised that they all match, but they're all from different artists, and you can bring them all together and go, now I have a great birthday present or anniversary gift or any type of present, just a present. And you can just get a bag from Bobby, right? And then you get a painting from Linda, and then you can get some cards from Beth to write to, which was what I did. I got cards there. And all these different things, and you put them all together and you're like, wow, I just finished doing all of this major shopping in one place. And these things are handmade. They're made with love. People put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into their creations, especially the ones that are sewing. We get pricked by needles and cutting with scissors and all this stuff. As many years as you've done it, you can still have those things happen. But you look at all of that wonderful beauty that's in one location from all the different people, from different walks of life, different backgrounds, and yet they're all in the same shop, all sharing so much love and beauty to not just Borrego Springs, but to anyone that comes in from out of state, out of town, totally different countries are constantly coming into Borrego Springs, and they get a chance to go to a shop where they can get a little bit of everything and feel like they're not just buying something that's stamped out by machines. This is coming from people that are put their heart into their creations. So continuing on with that, I wanted to find out if you could list a few of the things that are actually in the shop, some of the items. Not too many, just whatever the things that popped in. I already talked about the bags and the cards, but I know there's more that I probably haven't gotten a chance to really get into.
Yeah. One of my new favorite items that we have there are beaded ocotillos. And those are, they're created by Diana Fox, who also does beaded bracelets as well.
She does the class, right? The free class?
Yeah, and she does a class at the CRC. and on Saturdays. So it's a free class for any age. And she has all the supplies there that are included as well. And so she loves beading. She's very experienced with it. Her collection is impressive, and her collection of beads. And so she's been doing bracelets for the shop for herself, but also for the shop, for the last year. And then just this at the beginning of the season, we were talking about doing some beaded plants. It was her idea that she had seen, and then she brought it to me, and we're like, how could we make these beaded pothos, but more desert plants? And then she came up with the idea of doing ocotillos.
Well, I'm going to have to see that when we get back to the shop for sure.
Yeah. And then Tom O'Brien is a painter. When you're talking about international visitors, there was a couple that came in from Australia, and they bought 2 of his paintings and let me know that they'd be going back to Australia with them.
That's pretty amazing.
I know. And Tom, he's just recently started painting in the last 3 years after retiring. And over the summertime, he'll paint, 3 or 4 paintings a day, 4x6 around that size. And so it's been really just amazing to see the progress with all of that time and effort that goes in. You get to see it in real time.
Oh, definitely. That's quite a bit. And to know that one of his paintings is going all the way to Australia it's going to be on someone's wall, bringing them joy.
Yes.
Is a beautiful thing. All the way from Borrego Springs to Australia. There's no telling where else it could go, right?
How fun, right?
So what are some of the things that you love about having your own business? We know that there's other things, working long hours, having to go through to always be there, doing all these different things, managing so much. But that's just one side of it. What are the things that bring you joy from having your own shop?
I just experienced this last week and had one of those moments of appreciation. And it's when I'm at my shop in the evening. So I'm at my shop in the evening, and I get this inspiration to rearrange, and I'll be there blasting my music, and hours will go by, and I'm just in this zone of figuring out what looks good next to what and how I can place it so that it looks inviting and beautiful. And I just love being surrounded by all of these amazing creations that everyone has done, listening to my favorite music and getting to be there. Pepe's looking at me from his little Prince chair that I have for him, and just like, Mom, you crazy. But I'm just having so much fun in that moment. And so there was another time too when I was getting some cactus plants in that I potted myself. And so I did that in the shop and
nice. Made
a bit of a mess, but was just, again, it was right before the shop opened in the morning, and it was just so much fun to be planting and having Pepe right there with me. And I was like, man, this is such a good life.
And there you go.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, is at the end of the day, or at the beginning of the day, depending on what's going on, those moments that make you go, this is what it was all about. Rearranging and putting things up in a better way, or just taking that time to pot a plant, to have that calming moment, like you said. It just, messy or not, is not important. What's important is that you just had that time in your own shop, enjoying that space.
Yes.
So what do you think the future of Desert Lovers and Company will be?
That is a very good question. I, at this point, am in zero expectation zone. I'm taking it week by week. And so my hope is to just keep it going and keep the experience that customers have when they're there, good quality one. And so I started representing 2 artists and creators, and now the shop is representing over 35.
And there you go.
And so I think we're at a good capacity and variety as well. And so I just hope to continue increasing the quality that we offer there.
So is there anything else that you would like to share, Christina?
I just really have so much appreciation for everyone who's made something that we show at Desert Lovers and Company. Also, one of my favorite things that happens there is when a customer connects with one of the pieces that they haven't seen anywhere else, and they feel that connection with it where there's no choice but to bring it home with them. And so I love getting to witness those moments when someone connects with one of Dana Fehrenbach's shawls and the colors in the shawl are matching the colors of what that person's wearing that day. Or one of Martha Turner's quilt art pieces, and they show me a photo of their wall and it fits just perfectly in that spot.
And there you go.
So getting to see those moments is just everything to me. So I have a lot of appreciation for the artists and the makers that create those.
I love it. And for those of you that just tuned in, I'm wrapping up the end of Moments with MJ here on BVCR The Ram in Borrego Springs. And we're talking with Christina at Desert Lovers and Company. And Christina, I want to thank you for your time. Pepe, thank you for
having me.
You have your time too, Pepe.
Yeah.
And if you have not gone by and seen her shop, that is something that you definitely need to put on your list to go by there, because I can almost guarantee you're going to find something that you need to leave with. You're going to find something that just catches your eye, that's going to make you think of that special person that you must get, because if you don't get it, that's it, right? Because as artists, we're not big on duplication. So you see a one-of-a-kind item, I suggest you get it that day, because somebody else might get it before you if you don't. And I want to thank you again. And I will be including all the information of the location of an address and number and contact for calling the shop on the page, on our Facebook page. And once again, thank you, Christina, for the time from Desert Lovers and Company here in Borrego Springs, tuning in here on BVCR The Ram with Moments with MJ.
Thank you so much for having me, Monica.